5th, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Historic District Commission to order. For purposes of the tape, can we call the roll, please? Mr. Brassfield.
Mike Brassfield.
Laura Whitty.
Jennifer Cook Riggin.
Gary Roberts.
Angie Nagel.
Alex Stakeen.
And that is perfect because a quorum is here, so off we go. The next item would be the approval of the agenda, which of course is in your packet. And I am once again going to add item 6B that talks about the state correspondence for the design guide. And this is the last time we're going to talk about it because we are there. We have a letter that says we're there. So with the approval, or with the addition of an item 6B for this state correspondence of the design guide, I could use a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you. Is there a second for that?
A second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have an agenda rolling right along. Next would be the adoption of the minutes from our December 4th meeting, which is the last time we met, which of course is in your packet. Alec and Alex both had made motions in there. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? You're good? If not, a motion to approve the minutes as presented would be perfect.
I'll ask for a motion to approve the Historic District Commission regular meeting minutes from Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. As presented.
As presented. That's outstanding.
Second.
Jennifer, are you good?
I'm good.
You want to second it?
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have approved minutes. We are just on a roll here. Next would be items of public comment. Is there anybody in the audience, all three people that we have storming forward, that would like to say something that is not on the agenda? If it's not on the agenda, now the time's. Sir, would you like to just maybe set up and introduce yourself, because we've not met you before. And we have an important dignitary here from our village council, so
Putting him on the spot.
we're gonna put him on the spot and ask him to just introduce himself and tell us what's happening.
Well, happy to do so. Again, I'm Dan Ferris, newly appointed member of council. I made it through my first council meeting just last month. Looking forward to number 2 next week. And happy to be serving as the Historic District Commission liaison.
So as the low guy, you drew the small straw and got stuck with us.
He's the new guy.
Yeah, worse than that, actually, because I was appointed late, the committees were already divvied up in advance without me. So.
So he did get stuck with us, just so you got that clear.
But personally, I'm very excited and honored to be here.
Well, thank you for coming, and we look forward to working with you.
Look forward to working with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gary, if I may, I
Yes.
see someone in the audience that is that's working with the Van Avery building. That's not an item we have on the agenda this evening, so I was wondering if maybe he'd like to come up and give an update or speak during public comment. Now would be a good time to do that.
Sure. I heard you were coming with a light fixture. And here you are.
Hello, this is Enes Kesto, St. Joseph Building, again from the Van Avery Building. Last time we spoke about changing the colors, painting the outside, changing the green to the charcoal gray, and then putting some light fixtures. I know the fixtures that were picked were probably way too bright for your liking, I should say. But I took some of the considerations of just having something, a little bit less dim, more low profile. I felt like everything we tried to get looked way too modern for the building. So we went back and forth with the owner, and she decided we could do something a little more, historic looking. So something like this instead, where we would put around the building. We would have a total of 7 in the locations that were previously discussed.
Can you hold on for a second? Could you pull up the elevations that he's talking about, please?
Yep.
I'm sorry, you can go ahead now. She's gonna just bring up your building elevation.
Sure. That was actually it. Just we're gonna put these instead of something more
I would
modern
just like
looking.
you to remind us where we're talking about here. These are
Okay.
down the side, right?
Yeah, so
Not in the front elevation or.
no, the front elevation, we saw that there were pendants there before that were removed. So we're gonna hang new pendants that look actually exactly like this, except they're pendants. Since the electric work is already there, so but along the sides of the building, there isn't any light. So we would put 4 along the guess that would be the south. Which way is that way? South?
Well, that way's west, but.
That way's west. Okay. So it would be,
South is that.
We're good.
so along the west wall, we would have 4. And then on the east wall, it's a smaller, much smaller wall, so we're going to do 2. And on the south side, we would just put 1. Where mailboxes would be in the kind of where the parking is, we would just put 1. And then there are door sconces on the back doors that kind of, when we turn them on, we just kind of change the light bulb. They give enough light for the walkway.
Okay,
Yeah, so the main concern is just having the parking lot a little bit lighter, especially right now when I left it around 6 o'clock, it was pretty dark.
so as you recall, we had concern about these sort of relatively contemporary LED wall packs that were shown last time, when we kind of asked this gentleman to go back and
Yep.
see if he could find something a little more appropriate. And it sounds like this is what we're talking about. I'm not sure he's on,
Was he not?
Yeah, I was on
not
it.
on the agenda.
Oh,
That was the grill. But we have all the building elevations in there, or we should.
Yeah. Yeah, should have been there.
Just give us 1 second, because I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that people are clear what we're talking about, if we can do it.
December.
Was it December or no? Oh, yeah, right, it was December.
December, yeah. It's the
Yeah.
last time we were together.
Yep.
Normally, it's better if you're planning to appear, to just get yourself on the agenda as opposed to a public, this isn't really what the public
Right, right.
part is for.
Yeah,
But we're
I came in-
we're pretty easygoing mostly.
yeah, these actually came in a little bit later than expected, and when I came to drop them off, like, I would try to throw you in there somehow.
Van
Van
Avery.
Avery House.
What's the address?
32800,
Frank,
the Franklin Road. I don't know which one that would be.
32,760? No, oh, that's the, yeah, that's the Franklin.
Well, do we not have all our buildings, Dana, thing in there?
Honestly, it could have been
November.
Maybe it was
Was it
November.
November?
I think it was
It's not on,
November.
I mean, I'm looking, it wasn't on the agenda from the minutes we just.
No,
approved.
that's right.
Yeah, so maybe it was
I missed the
November.
November
It was in
6th
the
would be
December
the.
packet, because I wasn't,
I think we did have a December meeting.
it was. in
We did
December.
have a December
There
meeting,
was.
but I don't think maybe this one wasn't on ours.
We did not have a January meeting.
Correct.
Right.
You're right.
I don't remember.
I remember it in the
I
packet.
remember the images,
Yes.
looking at the images up here
Mhm.
and presenting the
approximately
paint.
And I remember it in the packet, because I wasn't here, but I saw it in the packet.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Okay, let me just ask it, let me ask it another way. What are you looking for tonight?
To, I guess, just get this style of lighting approved so that we could go ahead and just install them.
Okay, and are you, before, or at the next meeting, could you provide the documentation as to where these are going and so forth? I mean, I hate to kind of approve something when we're kind of shooting blind
I
here.
don't see how you can.
I believe we've already approved it pending him coming back to tell
Correct,
us
yeah.
more about lights. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing that that's why it's not officially on the agenda this
We approved it
evening.
with condition, but.
Yeah, but we did not approve the fixture itself,
Yeah,
but
just the
probably
fixture,
the location.
yeah.
I was just trying to
Oh,
get
the
it
location.
back in everybody's mind
Yeah.
up here.
Oh,
There we go,
go.
there we go.
Hey, all right.
Excellent.
It is
So
a
we would-
December meeting.
So
yeah.
originally,
Okay.
we were gonna have one here, we're gonna have 2 on this side of the building.
I do
Okay.
remember,
And then if you have the other elevation,
and I just had an
You're-
scrolling,
There you
yep,
go.
right along this line, we would have 4 over here.
I
Okay.
had a
So that'll
spreadsheet.
read very similar to the market, or to the Pilates
I
place,
remember.
where you have a fixture like that
Yep.
exposed.
And then, because it was gonna be originally like some kind of projector light, we were gonna have it up higher.
Right.
But since these are not gonna be projectors, they're gonna be a little bit less dim, we're gonna go towards the middle of the building, so in between the windows.
And
just along
you'll
the
be
light.
able to wire those from the inside, in other words, we don't have to look at exposed
Nope,
conduit?
we actually already pulled the wires out, so yeah, there's gonna be no exposed conduit.
Okay,
Yeah, they're just gonna be flush right to the wall.
so this would be the most visible location, right? He's not doing anything on the street side that is of these
Yeah,
type.
on the street side, like I said, we noticed there were 3 previously pendants that were already hung up that were just taken out, so we're just gonna put new pendants there.
Okay, but they're
They're, yep, it's gonna look exactly the same as this base, except they're just gonna be hanging down.
I mean, those are a little bit of a faux kind of a thing, but does anybody have any objection to those?
Is that the actual size?
That's the actual size? Yep, that's actually the actual light that we're putting in.
What is the material?
It's kind of like a steel.
Okay, I just couldn't tell from, sitting this,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sure it's a cast
Seal it.
thing.
No, it's not cast.
It's not cast. It would have been a lot heavier and probably
No,
quadruple the
that's- That's
price.
just a base metal
Yeah, just a stamp,
to look like bronze.
stamp.
Yeah,
Anybody,
Nah,
got it.
and it's got a light sensor so that they're automatically on, off. No.
that's your
Dawn, it
Menard
does,
special.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so the rest of the colors and other things we did last time, you're still,
Yep, we're still gonna move forward with it when the weather gets a little bit nicer.
and can you just, one more thing. What's happening on the interior? I heard the back tenant's gonna move in here, the tenant that's at the party
That-
planners people.
That, to be honest with you, I don't know. That's
Event
with her and the
Bliss.
owner. Yeah, Event
Event.
Bliss. I know she mentioned to me that she'd like to take one of the spaces, but I mean, that's between her and the owner. I have no clue, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay,
I can say that at this point that has been confirmed, but there's been a lot of discussion about that and that they would be possibly interested in moving out of that back building because there isn't a lot of visibility and into the Van Avery. But that hasn't necessarily all been sorted out yet, so.
and just for your information, we don't regulate anything on the inside, so it's not important, but we are interested in use, so.
Yep.
the land use, so, okay. Well, I don't think we need to take much more action other than to acknowledge that these fixtures are okay at the locations previously approved. All right,
Perfect.
so if we could just have a motion to approve, what is the address here, 30 what?
32,800.
32,800. We could just have a motion to approve the light fixtures at 32,800 as previously discussed and as this gentleman has purchased, has brought in for us as a sample, so. Can we get, maybe we could get a picture, just a digital picture of that thing
Absolutely.
for our file? All right, is there such a motion on the table? Anybody?
I will motion to approve the light fixtures for the Van Avery building located at
32,800.
32,800 Franklin Road, as presented.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
And of course, the final motion, Dana, will, because they're in accordance with the Secretary of Exterior standards and all that stuff. Thank you, sir. All right, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along, I see the esteemed architect in town, Mr. Masco, is with us. And he is here to talk about the porch at his residence at 26071 German Mill. Mr. Masco, you have the floor, sir.
You can.
For the record, I am David Masco, 26071 German Mill. I live there with my wife, Margaret Attridge. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight in this cold weather for this small project for your review.
There are no wimps on the HPC, just so we're clear about that.
So what I'm proposing tonight is a small addition to the rear of our home. It's a screened porch. I thought I'd just start with this drawing. I drew this back in 2002. This was my concept.
And David, you know, because they're interested, and not everybody here remembers, I happened to have been here then, but this, you know, when you started to renovate a house that fell in on you and
Yes.
sort of, just give them a couple-minute history of how we ended up with this property.
Okay. This is what it looked like back in 2002.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
There architecturally, there wasn't much here to work with. The history of this property is that in 1895, the village shoemaker lived here. According to the records, he had a log cabin on this property, and he sold his wares in a shed out on the street, out on German Mill. So we bought this in 2002. and have been doing renovations and improvements ever since then. We found nothing left of that shed. There was nothing I found. I was hoping to find like some old shoes or something. But there's nothing remaining of that shed out on German Mill. The house was very small, only about 800 square feet. This front part was built in 1942 by Burt Wood, a local builder here in the village. He did a lot of work in the historic district. He did several houses.
Garrett Key's house
Yes,
is where he lived.
yes. And so there was some old remnants of the log cabin hidden inside here. There was an addition put on the back, an addition put on the west side that almost completely surrounded where the log cabin was. But when I got into the project, the cabin was almost non-existent. There was some old timbers that were infested with ants. There was an old roof section that was collapsing. And there really wasn't much. I wanted to say, if there was an old log cabin in there, I would have saved it and made it part of our renovation. But there was nothing left there, in my judgment, to deal with. But I did the front part, which is the Burt Wood part, I did keep and then built the addition around it. So the old Burt Wood part is shown here in the gray. This is German Mill. North is down. Franklin Road is over here. North down, south up. And so the addition that I put on is shown here in red. And I shifted the front elevation of the new addition back to allow for a front porch tucked in this northwest corner. And what I'm proposing tonight is a screened porch back here tucked into the southeast corner of the new addition that I built in 2002. And whenever I do any architectural work, I always look at topography, trees, sun path. So our backyard is the sunny part of the house. So we have right now a stone terrace back there. So I'm going to reduce part of the terrace in order to make room for the screened porch. And the idea is we're on the south side. The porch will be on the south side. So a lot of nice sun for a nice place to sit in the warmer months. So this is what it looks now. It looks like now, of course, as everyone knows. It's the front elevation, the front porch tucked into that northwest corner. This is the rear elevation. More windows on the rear elevation because of the sun. Want to bring a lot of sunlight into the house. So in that southeast corner, in this corner, as this projects out, that's the sunroom that projects out. So in that southeast corner is where which is now a terrace, is where the screened porch will go. And excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I've built most of this myself with some help, but for the past 23 years, I've been working on this. I'm still working on some things inside. And I do plan to build most of the screened porch again myself, although I will have some help. But I've done it, the whole house, the exterior of the whole house is Western red cedar, either cedar shingles or painted cedar siding. The soffits, the underside of the overhangs, the front porch, there's a rear porch that I built about 5 years ago. It's all Western red cedar. And the new screen porch will be done in Western red cedar as well. And there's just some details I'm showing. that I will repeat on the screened porch to continue that look.
Excellent.
So, this now is the site survey. So again, this is German Mill, north down, south up. So here's the existing footprint of the house, and the cross-hatched area is the new screen porch in that southeast corner. And,
Which is virtually invisible from everywhere, isn't that?
you will be able to see glimpses of it from Carroll, in between houses.
Okay,
Actually, some nice glimpses.
okay.
In between Garrett's house and our new neighbor behind us, who moved in, who's gonna move in shortly. Floor plan, so this is how the floor plan developed. This again is my drawing from 2002. I grayed out here what's existing so that I could just pinpoint the new addition back here. It's a small room, 12 by 15. It will have a wood floor. I'm gonna build it like a deck. It will have a wood floor, which is how I built my front porch. The front porch is a wood deck. So there's that correlation. You come in on a wood deck, into the foyer, which is stone, go down a couple steps to a carpeted living room, sunroom, and then you go back out onto the wood deck, the screen porch, and then into the backyard. So it's just a small room, maybe room for a sofa and a couple tables, and this is what it'll look like. So this is the rear elevation. So the existing rear elevation is right there. So tucked into that corner is this new screen porch. So I've taken my window design, these tall windows with the simple muntin detail, and stretched it even, the windows, I started out with these and stretched them to here in the dining room, and stretched them more in the sunroom, stretched them vertically. And then now for the sunroom, I'm stretching them once again so that in that sunroom, I have floor-to-ceiling screens.
But there's no glass, they're just screen.
There's a glass door.
Okay,
I have a glass door here, but all the other openings are screens.
Okay.
And then, so this is the south elevation, and then this is the east elevation. The driveway side, looking west.
Nice.
So there's 8 openings with screens, 4 here and 4 there, and then a 9th opening for a door.
and David, you elected to go with the standing seam.
Yes, materials. The floor of the screen porch is wood, and I'm using epay. This is a beautiful hardwood. This is what's on my front porch. And this will be the floor of the screen porch. So it is a deck, but the deck is built right on the ground, so there's no posts or anything that you will see. It's not a deck that's raised up off the ground. It's going to be built right on the ground. So it won't appear as a wood deck on posts. I think it'll appear as a room, as an addition to the house. So epay on the floor, Western red cedar. The posts will be Western red cedar. There will be a Western red cedar beam, so it's a posted beam type construction. And I will detail the connections. Take very careful attention, pay very careful attention to how all the connections are done. And then the roof that I'm proposing is a standing seam metal roof clad with lead-coated copper. This is lead-coated copper. I'm choosing this material because I like it. A material like this, copper or lead, has been used for roofing for centuries. Lead-coated copper in particular, I like because this will patina. It starts out shiny like this, but within 2 or 3 years, it will start to patina to a very soft matte gray, like this color. This is a lead brochure. And this, I think, complements my home better than copper would. Copper will patina in 10 or 20 years to that beautiful blue-green color, which I don't think would be appropriate for my home. I like the gray color. So it'll start out shiny, but end up like this within, I would say, 3 or 4 years. And then it'll stay like that for 100 years. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your
That's- sorry.
attention to the detail. I see you're putting a skylight in there. That'll
yes, there will
make
be
it
a
really bright.
skylight to bring some light into that room. Just clear glass in an aluminum frame, painted gray.
Right. As the commission will recall from our training, we have two types of structures in this district, contributing and non-contributing. Technically, because of the age of the majority of this one, this is a non-contributing structure. However, the care and the scale and the color and the design of this thing is as sensitive to the neighborhood as anything else that we have everywhere. So it's just been very well done and cared for over the years, and we appreciate your attention to detail. Does anybody have any question or concern for Mr. Masco?
No.
Everybody's happy? Alex?
Let me mention one other thing, if I could.
Yeah.
I do need one variance. I
It's not us.
I will be exceeding lot coverage. This will push, 35% lot coverage is allowed in zone R3, which is what this is. I will be at 37.2%.
Oh, boy.
I'm a little bit over
Well, that-
with lot coverage,
that did it.
and
Oh, yeah, well, that did it. Forget the whole thing.
Yeah, forget it.
so I'm on the agenda for the zoning board of
Oh,
appeals
you,
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got the
You'll
letter.
be fine. So what that means to us is that if we support this application as a part of the motion, what we should do is include our recommendation to the ZBA that recommends that we approve this, including the variance as requested.
Yeah.
So whoever makes said motion should do that. All right, well, I don't see anything that concerns me, and it doesn't look like the rest of our
no,
commission
it's
does
very well
either.
thought out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have such a great
No,
thought process in this whole place. It's
Great
fantastic.
aesthetic.
It is a great aesthetic.
Love it.
So that said, what is the address of this one? We could use a motion for 26071 German Mill, approving the plans as presented with the ZBA caveat that we just discussed, and in accordance with the Secretary of Interior standards. How about if we have our lead attorney do this?
Sure.
Thank you.
I move that the application to partially remove the existing stone terrace to make space for a new screen porch as submitted to the HDC at 26071 German Mill Road be approved, and that the zoning board, is it the appeals? or-
ZBA, Zoning Board of
ZBA,
Appeals, yeah.
that we are submitting a recommendation to the ZBA that these plans, as submitted, be approved, as they are in compliance with the Secretary of Interior standards.
That is just outstanding. Is there a second to that?
I
And
second
this
it.
is-
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
You are good to go, sir. Good luck. You're gonna do this in the spring?
Yes.
All right, well, look forward to seeing that.
Are you gonna call Jonas? He'll help. Yeah, maybe. I'll bring the wine, though.
I was gonna say,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, you can invite us over for
we
a
can,
cup of
we
tea
can
after
toast
work.
your new screen porch.
I was gonna say, if it's got wine, we can always make. All right, thanks, David, for all your attention. Okay, moving on to B, the I want to talk just a minute more, just for the last time, I think, about the design guide. I have in my hand, my hot little hand, an approval from the state of Michigan to publish our design guide. And he sent us a letter today, and I think that this will be, this is the last thing. I have some artwork, for your benefit. We published a design guide, and we haven't done it in like 15 years. But it's basically artwork and architectural details, and it's sort of an annotated, we follow the Secretary of Interior, the Federal Secretary of Interior standards for renovation and alteration. And those are in here, and they're annotated to be a little more user-friendly. But we updated it finally, because we updated the size of the district recently. And none of that's been done in many, many years. Finally, though, we got the state to approve us so we can publish this design guide, which we're gonna do. The only thing that's left to change is I didn't really like the cover picture. So I sent that back to McKenna and said, fix this up a little bit. But other than that, though, the words are approved and we're gonna do it. They sent this nice, I was gonna ask you a couple things. One is, they sent this nice letter that closes by saying, we greatly appreciate the Village of Franklin's efforts to preserve and protect Michigan's historic resources. I really like that. So I'm thinking about having McKenna just put this right in the darn thing, okay?
Yes.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, then I think we'll do is we'll have them and make, I don't know, you might have to get involved with this. But in the last time we did this, I wrote a little cover letter and we sent one to everybody in the district, which isn't all that many people. Just to raise awareness that these things are out there. Because we found that some people actually move into the historic district and don't even know where they are.
Absolutely.
So this might just raise an awareness, so I'd like to, however you get us the money to do that, we have a budget, I don't even know what it is, but we have a budget, we wanna spend it on that. And I'll write a cover letter,
Oh, great.
and we'll get these spiral bound, I assume you can get that when we get it from McKenna.
Yep.
We'll send it, and I'm gonna go visit a couple of people personally, one of which is the church. Because they asked to be in, then the church administration changed, and the new minister doesn't understand it, so I'm gonna sit with him myself, just to make sure he's clear on it. Because the church is now part of the district, and I will also, of course, send one to our friends at the FCA who are uncooperative, but we'll send them one anyway.
I think that they're great. I'm really excited to have an updated one here. If we can get an electronic copy, I can get them printed and bound. I'd like to keep some on hand at the village office for
Right.
people that come in, would like to view them. I'd like to get an electronic copy, of course, updated on our website so that everyone can go out there and view it. And then I think distributing it via mail to those in the district is a wonderful idea. And so we can go ahead and take care of that, coordinating over in the office. Once it's all in its final form, I'll take an electronic copy and handle that.
Now I'll just create a quick little cover letter
Absolutely.
from us, so that everybody can do that. So we're gonna do that. So I just wanted you to be up to speed and know the grand plan. If you have any other thoughts about how we can use it, yes, I think if somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm gonna do this, say, well, that's great. By the way, here's one of our design guides, which we used to do until we ran out of them. And so anyway, we'll do that, get back to that again too, so that's what's happening with that. And like I said, I think I will ask him to somehow just to give us some credibility, we'll put this in the back or something from the state that shows how good it is. And that's it. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Alec, you good? You good? Jennifer, everybody? All right. Then we are adjourned at whatever time it is.